introduce Lydia Shaw. We're gonna start off with a couple of questions about the struggle we're trying to stand with right now at Marshal Field Garden Apartment. Lydia Shaw is taking on this fight with 2013. We call it plantation owner mindset. So we just want to get a couple of views and your stance on this fight and where it started from with Diane.
Well, I started living in Marshal Field Garden back in, I think, like 2006. And in 2007, I started having a lot of bed bug and mice problems within my unit. So I noticed that when I put in work orders, they would respond to them when they wanted to respond to them. Then they'd come up and just put down little pecks for the mice, but it wasn't helping the problem. So I then started to go over their head, like, who do I talk to? I started reaching out to people that was over Marshal Field Garden's head, and they didn't want to listen, so then I got a note from my doctor, and that particular note was saying that my apartment and the building that I lived in was unfit for human occupancy, and that's what started everything, where they hired in a lady named Diane Westnicki to secretly, she had just got knocked off the police force for killing somebody, and she just got hired in over here to secretly get me evicted and close up my mouth from what I was going hard about to get me put out. So, and that's what she did. She got me locked up 3 times for something I did not do, and to build a case and a record on me to get me evicted, in which she did succeed with that, got me evicted, but it was without prejudice. I fought as long as I could. My lawyer was a free lawyer, a public lawyer, but she couldn't hold up my case anymore because she saw that it was my whole thing was I didn't want to lose my crib. I wanted to continue living in my crib. Her whole thing was I could just help you on getting it without prejudice because you did nothing wrong, but I can't help you try to keep your crib. If you want to keep it, then I have to drop out of your case and somebody else got to handle it because it's going against the city and it's too much for her or whatever she was coming from. So I don't know.
So it's this thing, this list back here is a lot of people familiar with over there, a lot of the guys and women called the bar list. It's something that's here imposes upon a lot of the black men to separate them from their children. Can you give kind of a brief detail on what that is and how she uses that as a weapon against them?
The bar list is something that I was put on before I even moved out of here. She had a restraining order put against me so that I couldn't come within contact of her, but I really never did nothing to you to even put this on me. Why can't I come on the facility or on the property when I haven't never done anything? It's just all what you saying I did and I did nothing. So she barred me before I was even evicted or even left the property. So if I know she did that to me, she does it to 20 other people, and she just bars people at her own free will, not giving an explanation, not giving any sort of reasoning, and it's just a really thing of a power situation where she feels she has power, so I could bar you and you have to come back in my presence to talk to me to see, or you have to snitch to me on other people to get back into the facility. Like, she treats it as her own personal jail, and it's not right. And it's crazy that other people don't speak up and say things, but I don't blame them for why they don't, because the same thing will happen to me. I was evicted, but I got blessed. Everybody won't be the same way. If they get evicted, they'll just be out on the streets. It's a lot to lose, so that's why other people don't speak up, but something needs to be done, because she's made this into her own personal jail. She got knocked off the force, and it had to be for a reason. How could she get knocked off the force but then pick up another job dealing with people's lives, and then African-American lives, in which she doesn't even like African-American. They don't add together.
Right. So this leads next to the next question. It's kind of perfect that kind of people will see why you want to take on the fight. So can you give them a real reason why and what's your goal taking on this stance, getting support behind it?
Taking on a stand is because you have all these African Americans just standing out here. You have them mostly standing out here because some of them can't get back there. So since they can't get back there, you have to come out here. And you're a tenant out here, and then the police running you off when you're a tenant, and then you with your guests. So it's just like, I'm already in jail. You preparing me for jail, basically. It's just, they made it into a prison, and people don't even notice. It's just sad. Then they made it into a way where if she just barred 50 black men, you barred them for no reason and then pushed them all on the outside, forcing them to to do wrongdoing. Like, you put them in an awkward situation. All their personal belongings is back there and they can't get to it. You mentally
putting them in a loitering situation.
Right.
They're not loitering, they just want their stuff
or
and want to live it.
if they choose to think to do something devious to the next white person just because of what you've done to them. It's a chain reaction of just bullcrap that's unneeded, unnecessary. Most people...
So what are you doing to change the situation?
It's more than just her and what she's doing, because it's not, I can't say that she's just 100% wrong. Within the way the system is and how people do things out here, it's only a certain amount that she is wrong, but it's just the way that she does things. It's the way that you try to put these records on these young men. If you put 3 records on me and I wasn't doing anything wrong, I know that you're putting records on people that are doing minor little things. And it's scarring them. They can't go out and get a job, or they can't do the things that they want to do because they got a record on them from when they were 16 and 15 for minor stuff, but you put it as a battery. You put it as this. She makes up her own. Like when I got locked up, how could I get locked up a year apart, but when you look back at the police form and when I got locked up, it has the exact same right. The same wording, word for word, just a different name. It's I don't know the right words to use, but it's a cover-up. It needs to be put out to the light. Because if you did it to me, I know you're doing it to everybody. I didn't do nothing wrong, but just was coming in and out of my apartment trying to change for better.
Can you give the people a brief history on what her past job, career used to be, what she used to do, and how she does have a direct relationship previous?
Right. She was an ex-cop that got knocked off the force for, I believe, shooting someone and killing someone. I'm not sure if it was in the projects or if it was downtown, but I believe it was a black African-American person, and she got knocked off the force. And it just happened to be at the same time, and I was the person that was making a whole bunch of complaints into the building, and they hired her in for head of security to try to get me out. But then they got me out. I got the person that got her in, I got them fired, and now she's playing that person's role as the property manager.
What's her title?
But she's not the property. She's only the director of security, but yet you're playing the title of the property manager. Because if you weren't, how are you the head of security doing HUD inspections? Why isn't HUD coming out? And this was 5 years ago when I lived back here. That's when she first started and was doing my HUD inspections. How are you HUD? How are you the head of security but you doing my HUD inspection? It doesn't even play it together. And that was 5 years ago. So I know you definitely doing it now. You're doing all the job of a property manager. Did she go to school? Did she get hired as a property manager? How could she be in people's personal business when that's not even supposed to be in her hands? She's not a cop no more. Why is she treating like her security staff as if they're cops? Why are they treating their tenants as if they're inmates? It's not a jail. You can't treat it like a jail. It's not your own personal prison, so you can't make it one. But if you don't have tenants speaking up, saying anything, then nothing's ever going to change. But I don't blame the tenants for not saying anything because she retaliates. She did it to me. She'll do it to you. You're no different. So I don't blame them for not coming up, but we got to get something together to get her out.
Can you mention some of the incidents that happened recently? I think you said there was
recently,
some. Yeah.
Just, what was that, Thursday? What's Thursday's date?
The 4th, the 3rd, the 2nd.
October 3rd. It was a
October
Thursday.
3rd.
I was out here. She called the police on me. I was parked right up there with all my stuff out. She called the police on me. Well, her security called the police. She has these camera systems set up in her house so she could see what's going on when she's not here. So she called, I guess, her security, like, tell her she got to move. There's too much crowd out here. They're always trying to clear this gate, make sure people get off the gate. So her security had came out, and next thing I know, a cop had pulled up. And the cop got out, and he's at my stand like, put all this shit up, put it up. You got to clean this out. And I was like, what? So then he walks past me and walks up to this 3 or 4 security guards that was standing right there. So I'm like, so he disrespect me to talk to some workers? Really? So now they all standing together, the 2 cops and the 3 or 4 security guards right here. So they like, they just like in a little meeting together. So I'm looking at them like, so really disrespect me for them. I'm working my job. I'm doing what I got to do. I got a public license, this and the third. I got my rights to be here. If anything, you say anything to anybody else, not me. So the security was just looking like, well, what the police gonna say? And the police just looking like, well, y'all called, so what you want us to say? So it's just like, y'all workers, get back to work. I'm a taxpayer. Let me see y'all work. y'all ain't got no job right here, so keep it on. So Diane from the cameras saw what was going on, like her security walking back inside and the cops walking back in there, and I'm still right here getting my money. Next day, 50 people was barred because I had said Diane can only dictate what goes on in there. You have no dictatorship of what's outside. You can't dictate this right here when all this is a property value. I mean, a property value line. The gate is just saying that behind this gate is Marshal Field Garden. Outside of the gate is the city property. You could do and hang and do whatever you want. She's trying to even have control over the outside. Like, it's only so far that you could go. So since I sent the police off and sent her security back inside, she got mad next day, barred 50 people. It's Friday night. She bars 50 black men on Friday. Then when they come to her office that morning, she says she has her assistant that's a cop, Cato, to tell everybody she's not speaking to anybody. She's not seeing anybody today. So then they have to wait a whole weekend out the system with all their personal stuff and have to jeopardize their life to see if they're going to sneak on the premises or not. It's just, why are you putting black people into this jam? Why? Then they got to talk to you on Monday when you come in, and now you like a god or something. They got to answer to you and come to see you so they could get off. Most of the people got off by Monday, but it's the simple fact, why are you putting people's lives through this? Why are you putting people through this for nothing? And basically you retaliated against these innocent people for what I did to you. How are you retaliating for what I do to you on innocent people's lives? It don't add up right. But the tenants won't say anything because their own ignorance will kill them.
The bar list, how many people is on that bar list?
I actually, truthfully, I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't even go in there. I don't have anything to do with Marshal Field Garden. I just know of it from all the black men that I see walking past here. Buying stuff
more
from
black
them.
men on
It's
that.
nothing but black men. They love to have it where it's nothing but women gossiping, talking, and bull crap walking past. They don't want to see a productive life with a man and a woman actually with the family, with their kids. That's what she's doing. She's breaking it apart, breaking it up, so that all you have is women up in here just nagging dumb women. Why have them with some sense and with a man and trying to nurture themselves and build into something when if we take the man out the house, that's going to make the kids go crazy. That's going to make the woman go, it's just a downfall. And that's all she's doing. And then you got the young man going into gangbangers or thugs, but you can't blame them because that's all they know. They forced to be out here to do that. I know because I did it. When I got evicted, I had to sell drugs. So that's my whole point to the police also. When I was selling drugs, y'all didn't stop me not one time. But now that I have something positive, you stop me all the time. That's the system. And it's messed up. And y'all don't make it right. And y'all are workers, get to work.
Do you have a closing question?
Well, I think the work that you're doing is really important, sister. And I think one of the things that we should, if we can, start to do is helping everybody in the complex understand how it's in their interest to unite with you, because even though they experience what we call collective punishment, where, because of the resistance that you gave, the police, she took it out on the entire community. And the reason she did that is to make sure that, to isolate you. To try to make it seem as though you're the problem. And the fact is that this government is responsible for all the problems that you try to rebel against. And whether we stand up and fight back or not, these problems not going to go away.
Right.
And that's what we have to help people understand. And, we talk about people getting organized, So, I asked you the question about, what are you doing to change the situation? Because, I really feel like, with all the people out here now, we can get people, flyers and information about, what the situation is, the relationship that the police have, the community, and how we got to get organized to protect our community from these police that's brutalizing us and distributing dope in our communities and all that. So that's the type of movement that, we trying to build, And when we get that type of power, the conditions that we live in can change as well. And then we can start organizing to, maintain the building as we see fit. It's just a question of how well we organize and if we raise up demands that we really know need to be met, So hopefully, on behalf of the Chicago branch of InPDUM, we would love to work with you and to try to reach out to the community, start to identify leaders, like you said, like not only families, but there's a lot of productive men and women who may not be together, but they got ideas and talents, but they don't got no outlet to express them. You know? So through organization, we can make anything possible. You know, and that's what we're talking about now. It's building like a tenants association that really starts to demand change for the community right here, and it connected with the fact that all the way in France, African people are dealing with the same issues of public housing, and you know, throughout the continent of Africa. I mean, like that's our homeland. That's the place where all the gold, all the diamonds come from. Ain't no reason for us to be out here and living in poverty when we come from the richest place on the planet Earth. So, like when we build an organization and talk about issues right here in Marshall Gardens, we also connect that in terms of like what's happening right here. We show you how that relates to what's going on in Africa and all over the world. You know, and that's the type of organization we're trying to build. Because at the end of the day, we know that we ain't gonna get no problem solved from the courts, you know, from the police, and from the government as a whole.
Actually, I think the courts just could help us in this situation because I sued them.
Okay.
And I won one time with my property, with property being damaged to my apartment from bed bugs and mice. That's what really got them mad also. That was the main thing that started everything because I came back and sued them. In pro se, you have to be your own lawyer. No
A lot of people dealing with the bed bugs and things right
no
now,
lawyer is going to take, of course, that was 5 years ago. They ain't did nothing to change this or nothing. And people, you ask all these people that's walking past, they're going to be like, oh no, I don't have it. But it's just like, why you acting brand new? Why you thinking that's a mosquito bite? You know it was a bed bug. Stop living with your own ignorance, but their own ignorance will kill them. So,
I know we closing. I think it's important to raise about that being basically like aldermen and guys being stationed in this building. That's what I want. Jesse Whites and Danny Davis, they have presence over there.
And he said it's nothing that he could do because this is privately owned. It's not CHA. If it was CHA through the city of Chicago, he might could do something. This is privately owned. They got their own thing going on, and he has. I met with him in his.
But it's through HUD though.
It's through HUD. So
public.
Making enough noise.
Right.
They bend all the rules. They didn't say was they write the rules. They can break the rules.
Right.
The question is if you can get everybody in this community to march on their office, I guarantee you they'll break that rule.
Right. But you don't have everybody marching in office.
Yeah,
that was
well,
another thing why he was just like, it's nothing I can do, it's out my hands because it's a HUD situation. All the tenants have to report it to HUD. If nobody's reporting it to HUD, then it's no point in me fighting for some people that's not fighting for themselves.
Because people are scared they're going to lose their...
That's my point exactly.
Because she's threatening them with that. Exactly.
So it's like a...
resistance.
I don't blame him for...
I'm threatening them with their home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think this is a challenge for InPDUM Chicago.
Right.
Because you got a whole community of people right here in these bricks that have a material interest in uniting with the system and, you know, really struggling for control over the situation, you know, to get the resources, to get the repairs, get rid of the insects and all that. Everybody who lives here, they got an interest in uniting with them, whether or not they realize it in their own brain or not. And it's our job as revolutionaries, as propagandists, we got to find ways to convey that to the people, to help them understand that this is in your interest. This is how you come up, by getting organized. And we all go down to the headquarters the sister talked about and demand. We ain't going nowhere until the resources we demand to go towards improving the conditions here, I guarantee you. And if we get comrades and brothers and sisters all over the world to call everybody,
it's
we
really
put
just
on the
called
website.
HUD, because HUD, they know what's going on. They choose not to help. They choose not to even act like this even exists.
How much
they
money
don't
are they
even come
bringing
out.
in?
They bring in $7 million a year.
Right here at this location.
7.2 a year. Not every few years, but a year. They choose not to have nothing to do with it because they don't even come out to do their own HUD inspections. They let Diane, the head of security, do a HUD inspection. That's not even right. That's already that's tenants' rights right there being violated. When I lived back there 5 years ago, my rights were violated by Diane Westnick for doing my HUD inspections. And I just asked somebody 2 days ago, does Diane still do HUD inspections? They said, yeah, she just did one not too long ago. I'm like, that's not right. She's not supposed to have my information or anybody's information in her hands. Being security. You're nobody but security. Why aren't you securing the premises not up in my apartment? You don't have the right to be in my apartment, but HUD allows her to. Because the tenants basically allow HUD to by not reporting HUD. So it's a problem on HUD, it's a problem on Diane, Westnicky, the security. It's just all of them together. Once you really try to dig deep, it's a whole system working together that's feeding each other. When the office staff, they all connected, they all related. Then you have Diane Westnicky with her current cop, Cato, and he's doing raids and busting in people's doors and stealing people's personal money, and it's okay because they're not gonna say nothing, and it's just sad. It's just getting worse and worse and worse.
I want to thank you for the
Any comments
interview.
off camera?
And on behalf of Shaw InPDUM, we'll be in contact you doing some work with you.
Okay.
All right. And what's your name again?
Lydia.
Lydia what?
Shaw.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Black
you know,
power.
come in your house. You know, they have on ski masks. You know, like it's a secret, and you're supposed to be able to see every cop that come in your house face.
One more. You said it was 3 raids today, or
3 raids today.
or yesterday.
Oh no, that was
last week, Friday,
Yeah,
Thursday.
Friday.
Thursday.
No, that was the next day after I got into it with her.
Oh,
that was
okay, that was Friday.
Thursday night. I got into it with her staff and the police. So
morning.
Friday morning, she retaliated and raided 3 people and barred 50. I thought it was like 60 black men. Because the next day you had kids and guys all outside. This is the way they got to see their fathers outside of the crib. They can't come in the crib.
For them to get off the bar list.
That's just
they
messed up in the kids' minds to even think that, oh, daddy got to stand on the outside. Daddy doesn't have to stand on the outside. What other apartment complex do you know dictate the security dictates that much of their personal lives? Nowhere.
And to just get into the building, don't you have to put your hand into?
They gotta scan your handprint. They doing too much personal information for a low-income apartment. Like, if you were just doing the hand scan for the safety of myself, then okay, but you're using this hand scan against me and my tenants. Like, you're making it seem as if my tenant lives with me, well, my tenant's just constantly with me to help me through the day. And they leave at night and live somewhere else, but you're using it against me because you see that their hand is going in. You're not even giving me a chance to say anything, and then you just barring this person. Then waiting until you have the time to talk to them. Forget my personal life and what I got going on. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not right to just put a tenant like that. This is a tenant, not an inmate. This just doesn't go right.
In order for her to get back in here, once she barred, you must bring her a lease. You have to let her talk to your landlord. Bring your picture ID.
You gotta be like,
you know, with a different address, and it is like a jail.
Well, actually, it's not the person that's trying to see the person. It's the tenant is in a jail.
You know,
they have to have.
And I'm a tenant.
It's just crazy.
Right.
The tenant's in a jail, not the people that's missing.
Really good.
All right, thanks.